Okay, so I want to make some tweaks to this enemy character. So originally I had, if the angle to the player, if the tusks or the enemies look at rotation to the player was less than 5, then C's player is true. If not, then if it's greater, if he's like turned the other way, then C's player is false. So I'm not going to use these. Instead, I'm just going to ignore anything that has to do with that. So I'm going to cancel all this out. And all I'm basically going to do is I'm going to toggle between is turning versus is not turning. So if it's turning, he's just looking around. But as soon as he's within a certain angle of if his view is within a certain angle, then he's going to immediately go into is moving towards player mode, where he moves or he runs or walks, and then when he's within a certain distance, he attacks. So all I need to do is down here is turning is false if he's within a certain angle. If he's outside that tiny angle, if he's looking the other in another direction, then is turning equals true. So I'm just toggling between is turning versus is not turning. So I'm going to compile that. Okay, so if I go into the editor and hit play, so immediately he should be rotating towards me. And as soon as he sees me, he should come to me immediately. But, oh, I forgot to shut off the, I have to get, as soon as is turning is true, or sorry, if turning is false, then rotate left or rotate right, both of them are going to be set to false. Um, okay, so he's rotating towards me. As soon as he sees me, he walks towards me in a fighting pose. And he keeps on moving towards me as long as he sees me. So as soon as he attacks, then I can move away, and he looks for me again. This is because he's not rotating towards me when he's attacking. So he sees me, he comes towards me, and he attacks, and I can move away, and he's going to look for me again. So I've got time. So he attacks. This would be a good time to like attack him when he's looking for me, but I haven't implemented that yet. So I'm just going to stop that. Okay, so in order to apply damage, I'm going to select the tusk and make sure that it's set to the tag as enemy, and in the tusk script I'm going to go to the very bottom and do public void, call it hurt, and every time this is triggered I'm going to create a health. I'll give them a high health value, so float health equals 100, and every time the hurt function is triggered, it's going to be health minus equals 1. And I'm going to compile that, and I'm going to go into the hurt player area. So this is the area in front of the player that gets toggled on. I think it was a box collider. So if, let's copy and paste this, if the other game object tag is enemy and other get component has to be Tusk. So I'm going to compile that, and I need some I'll go into the Tusk, the update function. I'll do debug dot log health. I'm not sure if this is going to work. Is it capital L or, yeah, I think it's capital L. So I'll compile that. Actually, I'm going to change this the name to the tag of to Tusk, and I want to hop into the editor, and instead of calling it enemy, right now it's conflicting with this enemy here. So I'm going to go here, create add a tag, and I'll call it Tusk. I'll say or select Tusk and set it to Tusk. So now if I hit play, so if I look in the down here, it says 99. So if I hit him again, then it goes 98, 97, but he's not rotating to him right now because all I need to know for now is that I'm dealing damage. So with that, I'm going to first I'm going to go into Tusk, and I want to get rid of that debug because I don't need it anymore. And I want to go into the project. I'm going to go to the Tusk's material folder, and I'm going to create, oh, sorry, this is not the right one, materials. I'll call it Tusk hit material. So this one's going to be I'll make it a red color, and the emission is going to be a bright color. Something like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the Tusk script, and I'm going to create a public material called material, and a public material called hit material, and I need a public game object called geo, which is the geometry of the Tusk, and skin mesh renderer called renderer. So whenever he takes a hit, its health minus equals 1, but also actually up in the update function, I'll do renderer equals geo dot get component skin mesh renderer. And back down here, I'm going to put renderer material equals hit material. I'll do a start coroutine called set normal material I enumerator set normal material, and yield return you wait 4 seconds. I'll do 0.2 seconds. And I'll do renderer dot material equals material. Let's just say here, test renderer hides inherited component renderer. Okay, I want to see if I have files. I'm going to hop back into the editor and select Tusk, and it's going to ask me for the material, the hit material, and geo of Tusk, which is underneath the FBX default post. I'm going to grab Tusk, not Tusk armature, and drag it in here. So if I hit play, every time I hit him, he should blink. There we go. That's a nice. I gotta aim though. There we go. That emission is very high, so he only attacks when he sees me. But anyways, I think you get the point. This Tusk tag thing is bugging me. It's kind of redundant, so I want to change it back to enemy. And I'm going to go ahead and I want to delete the Tusk tag that I just created. And I'm going to go back to my scripts, and I'll delete this, and I'll say, I'll just use this first one. If so this one is dealing with the skeleton, so if other dot get component skeleton does not equal null, then I'll do this. I'll just copy and paste this, and I'll say else if other get component Tusk is not null, then I'm going to trigger the hurt function in the Tusk script, which is right here. And I also need to grab some stuff. So I need to copy paste from the skeleton. Is nearest enemy is true. I also need the variable from the skeleton. I'll paste it on top of the test script. I already have it here. So basically this is being triggered by, let's see, I'm going to compile this. Over here I have a similar problem, so I'm going to see if I can use this same thing here. If all enemies, bracket I, is skeleton, and I'll copy and paste this, and I'll say else if all enemies get component task task um, let's clean this up. And I'll do the same thing here. So if else if so basically what's happening is this is going through a loop. So if there's like several enemies, then it goes through the number of enemies. That's what this letter I is. So if, if the enemy in question equals nearest enemy, and all that enemy in question, all enemies I, has a skeleton script, then it's going to select is nearest enemy, or it's going to trigger the nearest enemy. It's going to do the same thing for the tusks, which is this right here is nearest enemy. If then it's going to set this variable to be true, and if it's not the nearest enemy and the script is correct, then it's going to trigger is not nearest enemy, which would be this one. So here I'm just checking to see if it has the skeleton script or the tusk script. So I think this should work. So I'm going to compile that. Okay, so if I go into the editor and I hit play, he's the only enemy on scene. So if I'm looking this way and I press the attack button, then I'm going to attack towards him. And I don't have to aim anymore. I just automatically go towards him. Okay, that's all I wanted to do for this video. I think that was pretty straightforward. I think there's a little bit more that I can do. I also obviously need to like make him die when all this health disappears, but I'm gonna save that for later. I think the next video, I think I might do the evade so that he can dodge like some of these attacks from the enemies. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that, and please stay tuned for the next video.